I'm afraid we're too late. Thanks for trying me.
I'm sorry, Doctor.
She's dead.
You better get inside, sir. Leave this to us.
Sorry.
You're entitled to be upset, sir. It's your own wife. And perhaps it's for the best.
Perhaps. After 3 years of it, she couldn't have taken much more pain.
You sanctimonious, murdering bastard.
All right, your family quarrels can keep.
She's dead, isn't she?
Yes, your mother's dead.
Then you killed her.
I told you to shut up. Enough's enough.
Of course, that's why you're here, isn't it? Big brass policeman, paid-up member of the old Pals Act, keeping an eye on the respectable, the noble, the saintly Dr. Grafton. It'll be the chief constable next, carrying his golf clubs.
Alec, I'll make allowances for you just once, because your mother's dead. Repeat what you just said when I'm off duty, and I'll knock your stupid juvenile block off. Get him out of here, Abbott.
Now, wait a minute. It was incurable, you know that. How long is it since you've seen your mother's face with any peace in it?
You're a gem, you really are. Any time, any place, the full heartstrings routine. Beethoven with a little black bag.
All right, Alec, come on.
I'll never understand you. You hand over a divorce to Julia just like that. You give up custody of your children without moving a muscle. Julia marries a placid, upright schoolmaster this morning, and you're behaving as if it's your birthday.
Drink champagne for defeats as well as victories. Tastes the same, and you need it more.
I put the bill from Julia's solicitors on the desk. I know you asked her to get the best, but still, I think they're trying it on a bit.
200 guineas.
Instead of 60.
I'll send a cheque tomorrow. You know, they ought to print bills like this with flowers and bunches of grapes all around the edge, like greetings telegrams. What are you doing here still? And you come to that?
Free drink, what else?
Don't tell me your current quota of young honourables is down to buying mineral water.
Hardly. I don't think they know it exists.
I had one or two things I wanted to talk to you about.
Now, why don't you both put your coats on and go home? Okay, so my ex-wife got married again today, but I'm not going to snivel all over the blotter. And I can do without you two lady almoners dispensing sympathetic looks and quotes from the Marriage Guidance Council.
Good. We can finish the bottle in peace, then.
We must be the only solicitors in town on shift work.
Well, there's nothing in the diary.
Evening.
Oh, you.
I knew that if I telephoned, you wouldn't see me.
Not on your honeymoon, anyway. Sarah Courtney, Peter Findon, meet Mr. Patrick Edward Bell, Julia's new husband. What can I do for you, Mr. Bell?
Nothing. No, I've come to thank you. I think you behaved extremely well, and you've saved Julia a great deal of pain and hardship.
That's what I signed on for in my now defunct marriage lines. Why change?
Nevertheless, I'd like you to know how much we both appreciate it.
Well, that's very nobly said, Mr. Bell. I'm sure you feel a lot better. The next step will be a strong, manly handshake, and another brick will be added to the foundations of civilized behavior.
Easy, David. It's not funny for him either.
It's his idea. And if there's a competition for stiff upper lips, I'm not joining. Good night, Mr. Bell. Oh, don't worry, love. It's outside office hours. I'm entitled to be childish once in a while. The fact that he's married my ex-wife doesn't mean I have to listen to him, like him, or even be civil to him.
If you feel like that, David, I'd have thought you'd have tried for custody of the children.
And lost. I don't think I'm 100% happy about it.
This is urgent, Miss Castleton.
I'm sorry,
I insist on seeing your father with or without an
can't.
appointment. I want to talk to you, Mr. Castleton, in private and now.
Thank you, Mr. Bulmer.
I'm sorry. We put a lot of business through your firm, Henry.
And receive value for money, I hope.
I'm not quibbling about that. This is urgent and personal.
Your mother died last night, Alec. I've heard from 3 people already that you're making some very wild allegations.
She was killed by my respected doctor father.
The best advice I can give to you is to stop making these allegations.
Even if I can prove them?
If you can prove them, then the only course is for you to go to the proper authorities immediately.
I've been. They won't listen.
Then I submit that what you call proof is not substantial enough to stand up to its proper legal definition.
You haven't listened to it yet.
I've known your father for more than 30 years. We're on the governing board of the local hospitals together. We belong to the same clubs. I was present at both his marriage and your christening. I know and respect him.
Yes, so does half this bloody town.
And with reason. I believe that you and I are talking tendentious rubbish with no basis in fact. And I'm prepared to tolerate or explain it only in the terms of the grief that you must feel at your mother's death. Now, Alec, be reasonable. You've been to the police. They've turned you down. Now, they aren't fools. They can't afford to be.
Then you won't take the case.
What case? There isn't one.
The leather armchair mafia strikes again. Take a swig of club port and pretend it never happened. Who do I see in this town that isn't blinded by 30 years of reputation and good works?
You've already seen them. People who have a more clear and objective idea of the law than your own emotional version.
What about David Main? Has he joined the club yet?
I can tell you now that David Main would have a lot less patience with you than I have.
He killed her, you know. And I'm going to prove it.
You keep coming up to these like this, Sidney, they'll make you take out naturalisation papers. What is it this time?
Routine, amateurs. We work for a chain of garages. We don't break the fists in the field. Nothing is likely to come to your exalted opinion.
Ah, nice to see you anyway. Hey, you'll need 20 years more promotion before they let you in here. What are you going to have?
No, thanks, sir.
You do as you're told. Jack? Half a bitter. If it's official business, you're in the wrong place. I'm off duty.
Well, that's the point. I'm not sure it's official or not. It's this Dr. Grafton case.
You can forget it. There's nothing to it, and that's that.
Can I talk to you about it?
This is Sidney Bourne. You don't have to worry about him. He's still more cop than you and I will ever be. When he joined the force, his wife reckoned he used to sleep in his home.
I've got a feeling about this.
Then you're in the wrong business as well. You should be a fortune teller. I've talked to Alec Grafton. I've heard what he's got to say. He's accusing his father of murder. And on the stuff he's offering, you couldn't get a conviction for shoplifting. Besides, I know Dr. Grafton too well. And if Alec doesn't keep his mouth shut, he'll find himself in a lot of trouble.
For your private information, that's what Henry Castleton told him.
Perhaps that'll convince you. If anybody invented honesty, it was old man Castleton.
Sarah, any messages?
No, none all morning.
Looks like the Great Wall of China. Is there anything left in the filing cabinets?
Peter claims that it's all urgent.
All of it?
Since our Mr. Findon qualified as a full-blown solicitor, he's turned just a little self-important.
No, that's not a crime. Besides, it suits him. At least he stopped wearing those King's Road suits.
Well, you did ask. And on that subject, I'm a little tired of doing his tedious conveyancing just because he's got a brand new practicing certificate.
That's what I like after a hard morning with snotty counsel, a happy, contented office.
It's like the bloody bounty. Quite a creditable voyage, Mr. Christie, and only 10 men down with scurvy.
9 with scurvy, 1 with flogging.
Well, I wish you'd tell Captain Bligh Findon to put his whip away.
All right, love. I'll see to it.
You should have listened to Alec Grafton, Father. Well, what if he's right?
The idea that Dr. Grafton had any hand in his wife's death is not only ludicrous but warped. I can just tolerate it from Alec Grafton. And from you, I can only regard it as impertinence of the most vulgar kind.
When I hear you talk like that, I can see what Alec Grafton means by the closed shop of influence in this town. Join the club and do no wrong. With a license to be offensive to other people, including your daughter.
Nobody ever achieved anything by mudslinging, except dirty hands.
Mr. Grafton, about twice a week I have to listen to the sort of character assassination you've just carried out on your father. It's part of the job. People come in here with a grievance, express it, and sometimes they feel better. It has nothing to do with the law.
Well, at least you listened, which is more than your fossilized partner was prepared to do.
If that's what you think of this practice, I suggest you leave now. Now, you're not making this very easy.
All right, I know. I'm sorry.
So, let's summarize it. Your mother was suffering from an incurable disease. Your general practitioner gave her a limited period to live.
A year, 2 years, he didn't know.
Your father is a brilliant and highly respected doctor in his own right.
Highly respected, yes. Brilliant, I don't know. Nobody ever cured anybody sitting at a committee table.
Let's keep this brief, Mr. Grafton. You claim to have evidence that your mother was murdered.
I can show it to you.
And you've already shown it to the police.
They poured tea down my throat, made soothing noises, and shooed me out the door.
But they told you the evidence was insufficient.
That wasn't the word Guthrie used. He called it ridiculous.
Then you're wasting your time.
You know, Maine, you're not so different from Henry Castleton at that. For a minute there, I was fairly hopeful. But why should you rock the boat? Make all your important clients queasy?
Mr. Grafton, I've been given opinions of my character by some of Her Majesty's learned judges that would make a fish porter burst into tears. So your opinion isn't likely to bother me. The advice is free, impartial, and for your own good. You're wasting your time. Just drop it.
Oh, no, Mr. Maine. If I have to spend the next 10 years and every penny I've got, I'll find someone who'll drag this thing into court. Believe me. Take bets on it.
Tell me one thing. May sound irrelevant, but it isn't. Was your mother a Christian?
Oh, yes.
What about you?
I suppose so. Sort of. Hell, like most of us.
Tell me another thing. If anybody is lunatic enough to take this case, there could be a fair period of time involved. In that time, public opinion could force a change in the law. They might, and I say might, bring back capital punishment.
So?
Which means that if you're successful, you might be instrumental in seeing your own father hang. You prepared to do this?
Yes.
These figures are remarkably good, David. I'm agreeably surprised.
Well, not bad. I'd like them doubled next year.
Don't go on too much about how well we're doing. I might want a partnership.
Partnerships aren't given, they're earned. In my case, it took nearly 20 years after I qualified before my name appeared on the notepaper.
Well, those days are over. Otherwise, I'd be stuck in a cubbyhole exercising my copper plate.
I hardly think that Margaret can claim your experience, David.
Well, when she can, I don't want her going anywhere else.
Well,
I'll keep you to that. I heard that Alec Grafton had been to see you.
well, that's one subject at least we're agreed on.
I'm not sure. Grafton's going to find somebody.
Well, not this practice. We should lose the respect of every client we have.
Oh, some of them anyway.
Which could be one of the reasons we should take it. Grafton's right, Henry. There is an old boys' mafia.
A nice, cosy, charmed circle. But where do the young hustlers go for legal advice? The bright, honest lads on their way up, scuffling for a living. The characters will form the club in 20 years' time.
Not sure I want their business.
Now, something else bothers me. What are the issues in this case?
Oh, I can answer that. People are talking about it enough. If it was murder, it was a mercy killing.
That's right. The old illogical vox populi, Pontius Pilate's jury.
Absolute rubbish.
Is it? Your mind's made up like everybody else's. Now, this is one of those issues where everybody and his uncle sets up as their own judge and jury, and they shouldn't. But for God's sake, they can't. The law on this is clearly and firmly set out, and it should be followed. Now, what if young Grafton's right? What if his father is a murderer, mercy killing or not?
No, David. I'm not even prepared to discuss it. And I forbid you to touch any part of this case. For babble of wild allegations can be called a case.
You are acting as judge and jury, Father.
But this is completely infantile. I expect it of you, Margaret. I'm dumbfounded that you men can even discuss it. This is the sort of case that can bring our motives into disrepute and alienate our clients.
When I walked in here, I agreed with you for all the same reasons. I was wrong. What sort of reputation do we want, Henry? With blinkers or without? And what about responsibility? Alec Grafton is one of our clients. Do we drop him just because the going gets rough?
If you wish to handle this case, David, from your London office, of course, there's nothing I can do to stop you. But as long as I'm a partner in the Leeds office of this practice, I cannot condone participation. I would rather dissolve our partnership than associate myself with such an affair.
Margaret, I'd be grateful if you'd telephone Alec Grafton and tell him I'm prepared to handle his case. on the terms just outlined by your father.
Sorry I'm late.
Don't worry about it. I've never been bought so many drinks in my life. I haven't been in here for 6 months.
Christmas comes but once a year. Better help you. Saw your car outside.
Same old George. Policeman first, drinker, golfer, everything else second. I find it quite touching. People I hardly know.
Oh, there's a lot of sympathy for you. And if Alec keeps opening his big mouth, there'll be a lot more. For a time.
What's that mean?
Well, even if Alec was right, a lot of people won't give a damn. But some might. Nobody likes suffering, but not many of us have the opportunity or the courage to do anything about it. That causes a bit of resentment, too.
George, I know all this. I also know what the law says about euthanasia.
I'm not talking about the law. I'm talking about morality, justice, mercy, belief, all the big words. What's right and what's wrong is what it boils down to. Sometimes you have to make up your own mind.
Not public servants, George. Not you and I.
I'm not so sure. I stood in this bar and made deals with villains, accepted guilt, let a small fish go so that I could catch a big one. My superiors call it the exercise of personal judgment.
You're trying to justify something on my behalf. You needn't.
Good. That's what I was getting at. Are you sure?
May sound pompous, but life and death are gifts. Sometimes they're in my hands. It isn't something you misuse, certainly not after 30 years.
Good. Now let me tell you something else. Sooner or later the sympathy's going to stop, and that's when the whispering starts. You can't afford that. You know your son's persuaded David Maine to act for him?
How do you know?
A friend of yours telephoned. Henry Castleton. Frothing into the mouthpiece. Look, I know Maine. I think he's honest, but I know he's bright. Win, lose, or draw, he can do you a lot of damage. So I'm calling for a coroner's inquest on your wife.
You don't think there's anything in this story of Alex?
I know there isn't. So let's make it as public as we can. And when the mudslinging starts, let's make sure it sticks to Alec and stays there.
You don't look very comfortable in that chair.
I'm not, for a million reasons. One of them is that this meeting should be in London. Your case is being handled independently by my branch of the practice.
Without Henry Castleton, you mean? Fine. He'd probably put you on bread and water.
Probably.
Miss Castleton, if you don't want any part in this, I'll understand. It could be awkward for you.
No, it was my own choice. Thank you.
What made you change your mind?
Economics. If we get a reputation for turning down cases that aren't watertight, we're finished. Besides, I wouldn't mind being a charter member of the Young Pals Act.
That'll do. I've had enough of idealists.
And on the subject of motives, what are yours for bringing this case? I've told you what it can mean, and I don't want to live with calculated parricide, even by proxy.
I'll risk that. Let me tell you about it. The family firm was started by my grandfather. My mother sweated for 20 years, building it till I was old enough to take over. Most of that time, my father went around burnishing his halo and waving his Hippocratic oath.
Oh, he did a lot of very good work.
Oh, yes. But he always waited till he set foot outside the front door. I went into the factory straight from school. Hell, I was running it by the time I was 22. And my mother took her first holiday for 10 years.
I can see the resentment. It still isn't enough.
Well, it all got a bit patronising. Our grasping, dirty world of commerce instead of his saintly devotion to the public good. But who do you suppose paid for my father's reputation for good works? Who subsidised the first-class tickets to high-powered medical conferences? If he'd had to make a living with that stethoscope, we'd have been on national assistance.
Mr. Grafton, what you're outlining is a family situation, not any motive that I could accept for a man like Dr. Grafton to kill his wife.
All right, I'll give you one. If he'd been such a hotshot doctor, he'd have diagnosed my mother's illness a long time before a GP had to put his finger on it, if he cared enough. And when you're supposed to be the top brick on the medical chimney, it's a little embarrassing to have your own wife dying by inches and the whole town knowing there's nothing you can do about it. Well, take it from me. The one thing my father cannot stand is embarrassment, especially when it's professional.
As I see it, your mother was in a great deal of pain. Could you accept that this became unbearable for your father?
Oh, yes. Don't think it didn't occur to me. But I checked on the pain and how bearable it was, and the treatment. I also asked my mother about it. Believe me, if this was what she'd wanted, I'd have fixed it and gone to prison laughing.
Well, that answers some of the questions. Now, let's work through the evidence. Sidney, could you sit in on this, please?
First, the timing. I was away for 8 days on a selling trip. Usually, the export manager goes.
So?
That was my father's idea. He said I had been overworking and needed a change.
Well, that could have been true.
It's been true for years. Why should he bring it up now? And why should he take the trouble to telephone my secretary and find out how long I'd be away?
Castleton and Maine. The London office for you. They say it's urgent.
Sorry about this.
David, I didn't want to bother you with this, but 2 letters this morning came in marked personal. Yes, I know you've told me to open them. No, I'm not bothered about that. It's what the letters say. And there's a telephone message as well.
Sarah.
Just a minute, David.
Give me that.
Whatever's the matter with you?
It's all right, David. No panic. Oh, there's a bit of bother about your Chelsea house. Nothing we can't handle. No, really. Oh, Sarah's having one of her conscientious mornings. No, of course, I'm sure we can cope. How are things with you? How's the Crippen and Son case going? Well, sooner you than me. Or whatever happens, I'm sticking to herbal remedies in the future. Fine. I'll be seeing you. Bye.
David, Peter, I have had just about enough of this. Who the hell do you think you are? Ever since you qualified, you've been a mixture of Billy Graham and Judge Jeffries. Well, I'm sick of it. I don't work for you, and the moment that I'm supposed to, I'll resign. So just stop throwing your tiny little weight around and let me get on with my work.
Have you read these?
Of course I've read them.
Then you ought to have more sense. I'm sorry about the way I interrupted, but at least let me explain.
This had better be very good.
These letters and that phone message must be put to David very carefully, here and in person, with someone keeping an eye on him.
I really don't see why.
Then you don't know your boss as well as I thought you did. This stuff concerns his children. Where his kids are concerned, David's pure northern primitive, stone club and all.
I know that, and that's why he should be told as quickly as possible.
And go berserk, oh, sweetie, give him a chance. Read them again. Just look at it. His ex-wife has moved from her Chelsea house. Her new address is in the middle of a fringe area where the favourite sport is razor fighting. Both of his children have been moved from schools which it took a great deal of trouble to get them into. And if I had a phone message like that from the local clergyman, I'd knock the vestry door down.
Yes, I see what you mean. I'm sorry, but you have been a bit bumptious lately. Well, what are we going to do?
Get David down here as soon as we can. Those kids have been uprooted about as completely as it's possible to uproot children. Let's work out what we can do about it.
I suppose so. I'm upset about it, so goodness knows how David's going to feel.
Oh, I can quote you the thoughts of Chairman Maine. Emotion is one thing, the law is another. If he doesn't watch it on this one, he may forget.
I should like to be around when you start giving Maine that sort of advice.
Why don't you and David cartwheel into some great raging affair and get it over with? You can't stay forever in this state of frustrated wolf cub loyalty.
You really do think your new certificate to practice covers a lot of ground, don't you?
Oh, I know how it looks. It's not easy. For me, I mean. When I was an articled clerk, I had a clearly defined and lowly station in life, dog's body with a capital D. Now I'm on the same ladder as David. Okay, I'm on a lower rung. I'm new, but I'm competing. I'm in the same race, and I worked hard to join.
I know you did, Peter. I'll remember.
What I'm going to do, David, may strike you as slightly old-fashioned, but I intend to read the last will and testament of the late Mrs. Dorothy Grafton in the presence of the beneficiaries. And since you represent one of those beneficiaries, I prefer you to be here.
I'm all for the Dickensian touch of dignity, Henry. I wish I could get away with it. But don't you think we'd be better off waiting until after the inquest this afternoon?
In normal circumstances, yes. But what I have to say will most certainly affect the attitude taken by you and your client at this afternoon's proceedings. Will you come in, please? Mr. David Maine, Dr. John Grafton. My purpose in calling this meeting is to apprise you all of the contents of the last will and testament of the late Mrs. Dorothy Grafton. I intend to summarize this in lay terms rather than subject you to the possible rigours of legal terminology. And Mrs. Grafton's personal possessions are left entirely to her husband, Dr. John Grafton. As some small token of my gratitude for the devotion and happiness he has lavished on me, the principal assets consist of shares in the family firm. Our total value is almost £500,000, and they constitute complete ownership. These shares are divided equally between the late Mrs. Grafton's husband, brother, and son.
3 of us? For God's sake, who conned her into that?
I would like to quote, "It was my wish that my estate went entirely to my beloved husband. It is at his request that I have made this division, and in particular with regard to my son, whose hard work and unfailing loyalty have been responsible for the growth and success of the family firm. In my husband's own words, it would be immoral to deprive him of his just entitlement."
We will all now rise and sing hymn 104.
I shall, of course, require the present address of Mrs. Grafton's brother.
It's a banker's address in the Bahamas. He lives abroad for health reasons.
He lives abroad because he's a drunk. A layabout with 20 years' experience at it. He wears hangovers and cheap dollies like you and I wear cufflinks.
No one's asking you to approve, Alec. Just accept him. There are more ways of life than your crass materialism.
Amen to that.
I imagine there'll be some more formalities, Henry. When they're all finished, I'd like you to act for me in the sale of my shares in the business.
You can't do that. We don't want outside money.
You may not, I do. I happen to think there are more worthwhile things to spend this money on. Thank you, Henry.
And if the Playboy brother sells as well, you lose control of the business.
That's right.
You know, Mr. Grafton, this whole affair is beginning to take on a faint but understandable smell. Do you know what happens if, in fact, your father is found responsible for your mother's death?
Yes. His part of the estate reverts to me. I still own the firm. Well, let's add something else. I deserve to own it, because I bloody well worked for it.
Wish you told me that earlier, because now I don't trust you. I'll see you at the inquest this afternoon.
It just seemed worthwhile following up, that's all.
I told you to leave the Grafton case alone.
But all I did was...
No ifs, no buts. Any more of your so-called follow-ups, as far as I'm concerned, there'll be willful disobedience of a direct order, and I'll push it upstairs and make sure the reprimand's official. Then try waiting for the next promotion list.
Yes, sir.
And don't you try picking his brains either.
And he's the man who reckons a copper's never off duty. No, he's the man who reckons a copper ought to get up in the morning and arrest one of his neighbours just for practice.
Well, the Grafton case is a bit political.
Then why didn't he say so?
Well, perhaps I'm wrong. But you know as well as I do, the charges where all a policeman can do is listen. Missing persons, walking thieves, family fights, all the amateur stuff you can't waste time over because there are too many real villains you need 36 hours a day to catch.
You don't want to talk about the Grafton case, do you?
Not without George, you say, sir. Besides, I've been on this for 5 days. I've seen a lot of people. I think I may have enough. Without help.
As is the duty of this coroner's court, we have listened very carefully to the circumstances in which the late Mrs. Dorothy Grafton died. We have heard the results of a searching post-mortem. I'd like to express sympathy to the late woman's husband. Dr. Grafton's contribution in the medical area of public service is well known to us all. Our appreciation of it should be heightened by the extent of his personal tragedy at this time and in these circumstances. I would like, too, to express my personal hope that the findings of this inquest will, once and for all, stifle beyond any doubt a chain of malicious and unfounded rumour. The perpetrators of this rumour must answer to their own consciences. There is no doubt in my mind the late Mrs. Dorothy Grafton died from natural causes. That is the verdict of the jury and this court.
Satisfied?
No. No.
Well, you should be. That coroner knows what he's up to.
I heard the verdict. It's not on.
What do you mean, there is a case? Grafton did kill his wife?
According to that lot, it looks like it.
So what do we do now? No flowers by request. Please send donations to research. I wonder if it ever occurred to him that some people might like to send both.
I've always been a bit leery of solo pilgrimages, even with flowers. You might have done more good going to the funeral.
Oh, sure. And choking on the slop and the maudlin reminiscence and the fake sympathy.
Family loyalty is very big round here.
So I've just made 200 enemies. At least that's something. It shows I'm convinced he killed her, even if there's nothing I can do about it.
Well, there is something. It'll be messy and it won't be certain, and you'll be finding a coroner's verdict as well as the rest of the law.
The state's already made its mind up.
It needn't end there.
What else is there?
The right of every citizen. We can bring a private prosecution for murder.
Why are you telling me this?
David asked me to.
On a personal or professional basis?
Personal. I wish not to embarrass you. Well, he'd have told you himself if there hadn't been some mysterious panic in London.
His code of conduct has an occasional elastic quality. John, Margaret has just told me that your son intends to bring a private prosecution against you for murder.
Can he?
Oh, yes, it's possible. Anyone can bring a private prosecution for almost anything.
You can go in now.
Just a minute. Can you go through it again?
Well, it's very brief, very simple. We're about to see a stipendiary magistrate, which means he's a lawyer and gets paid for the job. This one's an ex-barrister. Very good indeed.
Miss Castleton, are you convinced that the evidence justifies bringing Dr. Grafton to court on this most serious charge?
I am, Your Worship.
So be it. Take the oath.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You say then on oath that your father murdered your mother?
I do.
Then I shall grant your application for a summons in this matter. And I'm obliged to notify the Director of Public Prosecutions.
Why didn't you telephone me?
I told her not to.
Then you should remember who's running this office, and it's not you.
I had a good reason. You'd have reacted in the way you're reacting now, and it's wrong.
Look, you're not good enough yet to start giving me advice, Peter. I doubt whether you ever will be.
Normally, no. In this case, yes. How far do you think you'll get if you start bawling at Belle the way you're bawling at me now?
They're not your children.
All the more reason for letting me handle it.
No!
All I've got to lose is a job. Bell is due here in 5 minutes, and if you see him in the state you're in now, I think you're out of your mind.
I'll see Belle myself. I'd like you to stay, Sarah.
Oh, well, at least I tried.
I have an appointment to see Mr. Findon. This is your lucky day. You can see me instead. Oh. Mr. Bell, the last time we met, you said something about the way my cooperation saved a certain amount of hardship for my ex-wife.
Yes, I did, and I meant it.
Good. We have some of the same motives. Now, perhaps you'll tell me why Julia and my children are leaving Chelsea.
Fairly obvious, I should have thought. You know how much I earn? I'm a school teacher. I can't afford upkeep on a house that size.
Even if I help?
I don't want your subsidy, Mr. Maine.
I don't want my children living in a semi-slum.
That semi-slum happens to be where I teach, so that people living there have a chance to get out of it.
Then why import 2 more children?
Where my wife and I choose to live is our business. I believe that a so-called good area is not as important as people like you seem to think it is.
What you believe and your opinion of people like me doesn't matter. We're talking about my children. Now, why have you shifted them both from schools where they were happy and doing well?
Because they're bright. There's no need to pay fees for them at some snub place with a fancy uniform.
I see. The next thing I'd like to know is why you've decided to discontinue their religious instruction.
Because I think it's hypocritical. And I don't believe you give a damn about it one way or the other.
Your mind's made up.
Yes. The hard way and after due thought.
Then why don't you give children the same chance? Give them the knowledge and let them make their own minds up. Don't be so fast at labeling it hypocrisy.
Mr. Maine, I'm a good school teacher. I can move into one of these private schools you're paying a lot of money for and damn near double my salary. I don't, because I don't believe in them.
Question of principle?
That's right.
Well, you're entitled to your principles, Mr. Bell. But don't push them down my children's throats. That's something you've got no right to do.
I believe your children should have the same chance as other children, no more, no less.
And let's look at the chance you're giving them. A stepfather who's a self-styled and arrogant agnostic who chooses to live in a crummy district because of ideals that apply only to him and who despises private education on the basis of some arbitrary and notional egalitarianism.
Very eloquent, but I've heard about that side of it.
And then let's shorten it. I've no intention of letting you pressure my children because of your ego and your principles.
You want privileges for them. I'm not prepared to concede that.
You're not in a position to concede anything. Yes, I want privileges for my children. I've worked for those privileges.
Then your children should do the same.
No, I've done it for them. It's the one thing that's in my gift.
And the other things they've missed. Love, affection, companionship.
God, you're a real lexicon, aren't you? I bet 2C are crazy about you with your second-hand version of the absolute.
I married Julia because I love her. I can provide the kind of life which you were always too busy to see she needed. My way. And the same applies to your children.
Oh, no, I'm not watching some doctrinaire pedagogue use my two children for plasticine models. They're not going to grow up in your image.
I suppose you want them to grow up like you.
No, and that's just the point. That's where we differ. I'm asking you to change your mind.
No.
Talk to Julia about it.
I'm sorry, Julia and I have talked. We won't change our minds.
Well, you may have to. I have my children to protect.
Using the law, I suppose.
Every bit of it I know. If I have to tear you, Julia, and your marriage to pieces in a process.
Shall I make you some coffee? Drink?
For once I'm on the wrong side of the desk. The painful side where the heartbreak is. Get on to Sydney right after the Grafton hearing. Ask him to get back here and find out all he can on Patrick Edward Bell. And you can tell Peter he was right. Tell him I'm going to fight for custody of the children.
Peter says there isn't a chance.
He's right there, too. I don't have any choice.
More of them.
Yes. That's where they belong, Margaret. Leave them there. If you're going to bring a private prosecution for murder, you must expect anonymous letters.
Well, there were 3 letters in the office post from people we'd never heard of asking us to handle their business.
I don't think the two balance each other out, Margaret. There's one worth the other. Just because David Maine takes risks, obscene anonymous scribbles full of bigotry and prejudice.
David was right. Everyone's his own judge and jury. Thank God the hearing's today.
Oh, hello, Margaret. Sorry I'm late.
Yes, we haven't a lot of time, David.
I know, Margaret, but this is important. Would you excuse us, please?
Yes.
Henry, I want to ask you something.
You know my feelings about this case. I'm not prepared to discuss it.
No, that wasn't what I wanted to talk to you about. I want a favor.
Concerning this case, no.
Not this case, it's for me. When I was divorced, custody of the children was granted to my wife with my consent. I want that custody order revoked, for good reason, and I want you to handle it.
I know nothing about custody. I'm not sure that I want to. I don't like to see children used in a tug of war between parents.
It's not hilarious for the parents, either.
And I've had no experience.
I'll provide that.
Good of you.
I'm sorry, Henry. I'm too worried to be civil. They're my children. What I want is...
My silver hair, my straight-laced approach, and my reputation for the sort of respectability that you are flouting in the Grafton case.
Something like that.
At least you're honest about it.
I don't underestimate you, Henry, and I did say favour. And for somebody like me, that word has a very peculiar taste.
Why should I? Especially after the Grafton case.
Because we're partners. Grafton's one of 1,500 hot files. Cases come and go, and we're bound to have differences.
You haven't answered me.
Yes, I have. As long as we're partners, we've got to trust each other. The Margaret's too soft, Peter's too green, and I'm too proud to ask anybody outside. That leaves you.
Which has to be about the most ungracious expression of trust I've heard in my entire career. I will, nevertheless, act for you. And accept it as a compliment.
Thanks, Henry. If ever you get landed with a paternity suit, I'll do the same for you.
I would remind you, Mr. Maine, that punctuality is more than politeness, where the law is concerned. I shall accept your apology for lateness and accept the grounds of urgent personal matters.
We are going to show your worship evidence in substantiation of an extremely serious charge. A son is accusing his father of murder. I now propose to call witnesses from whom you will hear the following. The late Mrs. Grafton's condition was incurable. The method of treatment consisted of intravenous injections against leukemia. A general practitioner did not see the late Mrs. Grafton for 7 days before her death. Also, a week before the death, Mrs. Grafton's housekeeper was advised by Dr. Grafton to take a holiday on the grounds of ill health. She consulted her own doctor, who found nothing wrong with her. Mrs. Grafton received a weekly parcel of books from her son. It was always opened immediately. The last parcel, delivered 5 days before her death, was found untouched. Dr. Grafton's son will tell you, with confirmation from the supervisor of the local telephone exchange, that long-distance calls made by his father assured him of his mother's continuing good health. The police found the extension by the side of Mrs. Grafton's bed unplugged. So much for circumstance. Now, method. There was nothing strange or sinister about the marks of injections on the late Mrs. Grafton. What is sinister is the fact that we cannot be sure of the substance with which Mrs. Grafton was injected. Expert testimony will show that there were no unnatural substances in the late Mrs. Grafton's body. But these same witnesses will also testify that the symptoms displayed by Mrs. Grafton just prior to her death and immediately afterwards were those of hypothermic coma. This type of coma can be induced by a massive overdose of insulin. Some 2 or 3 hours after death, no trace of this remains in the body. Dr. Grafton is a diabetic with authorized access to insulin. The amount of insulin collected by him over the last month can be shown to be considerably in excess of his normal supply or present requirements. It is my submission the following took place. Injections were withheld from Mrs. Grafton until weakness developed. It was then possible for a massive overdose of insulin to prove fatal. I shall call testimony to support this. I shall ask you, your worship, to piece together the links in this chain of evidence in the light of the manner in which Mrs. Grafton met her death. A manner capable of being conceived and executed by a skilled medical practitioner. It can be said that this was a mercy killing, an act of humanity. In the eyes of the law, mercy killing does not exist. I'm not here to question the morality or belief of its concept. I would point out that its legal definition is murder.
I would rather you left the legal definitions to me, Mr. Maine. There is no jury to convince.
David's angry about something. He's taking some horrible risks.
Makes a change in this town.
I would like to call Mrs. Grafton's general practitioner.
Hello, George. Get you one?
I'll buy my own, now and in future. Scotch, please. Large one. Well, your Sharpie boss has got young Abbott on the stand. Nicely primed, singing like a little blackbird. Congratulations.
Nothing to do with me.
I could name the people I trusted, really trusted, on the fingers of this hand, and you were one of them. Not anymore. If you want any help in the future, don't come to me.
Please yourself. Try asking Abbott first. He went the standard copper's route, so did I. But I acted independently, and I've had a lot more practice. You think I'd need Abbott?
That's your story. The whole bloody business makes me sick. Some greedy kid trying to chop his father is 10 times the man he'll ever be. What if Grafton did kill his wife? All he did was stop the pain. Who cares? Anything wrong in it? Is this a crime?
I don't know. I wish I did. Wish we could have heard Mrs. Grafton's side of the story.
Well, that's something Maine forgot. You could have called a spiritualist. What are you mixed up in this muckraking for? You used to be a good copper.
I had Edith ill for a year. The quack gives her another 6 months, maybe a bit longer. She got me, her daughters, and the grandchildren, and she wants to see the Roses one more year. She says every second counts.
Christ. Sorry, Sidney. Will you buy me a drink?
Yes, Mr. Maine.
That is my case, Your Worship.
Mr. Treadgarth?
Your Worship, I submit there is no prima facie case to answer. I will be brief. I have no wish to emulate my friend's protracted histrionics. There is no need for detailed rebuttal, and there is no point in pulling a web of such contrived flimsiness to its insignificant pieces. Your Worship knows that in a case of this nature it is always possible to weave a lurid fabric of circumstantial evidence. I repeat, circumstantial. The calculated piling, one upon the other, of insubstantial facts capable of infinite interpretation. These facts, Your Worship, can be so assembled to point to whomever the prosecution wishes. The prosecutor, Mr. Alec Grafton, has a self-declared pecuniary interest in its success. I'm not here to attribute motive, whatever my feelings about this. I am here to prevent a most serious charge being brought against a much-respected man. I submit, Your Worship, that this charge has as its basis not fact, but the assembly of contrived circumstance.
I've listened very carefully to the evidence presented. First, Mr. Treadgarth, I would agree that there is a great deal of force in what you've just said. But I cannot agree with your views on the flimsiness of what can be called circumstantial evidence. To my mind, this evidence bears sufficient weight to justify the allegations brought. I am therefore committing Dr. John Grafton for trial. John Grafton, you are charged with murder in that you, on or about the 13th of February, in the county of Yorkshire, murdered Dorothy Grafton against the peace of our sovereign lady the Queen, her crown and dignity.
You won then.
We did what we set out to do. I don't think you talk about winning or losing in anything as messy as this. Go through the law, the machine creaks into motion, you stand back and let it roll.
Right or wrong?
It's not my business. I just take care of the nuts and bolts, put the machine together.
I don't think Dr. Grafton's guilty.
Might be better off if he is. Distinguished medical gentleman, very good lawyer, convince a jury and he's home free. If he's capable of committing a crime like murder, he's also capable of committing perjury, which is all he'll need. After one, why have scruples about the other? It's a bit like virginity. You only lose it once.